Some things absolutely never change. We're going to talk about 3 things that do not change just because you up and you move and you start a new life in Central Florida or anywhere else, and maybe 3 ways that you can make those changes if that's something that you want. So, welcome back to Fab 50s, everyone. Anyone who is new here, I'm Liz. I'm walking every day for wellness, every day for weight loss, inviting you to join along so we can form a community that is supportive and helpful of each other when we are trying to get fit and lose weight after menopause in our 50s and beyond. So, number 1, community and friends. When you live in New York and you have a certain social circle, you have a certain format of the way that you make friends, if it's through work, if it's through a church organization, if it's through sports, whatever it is, when you have your friend base, you think, well, I'm going to have a different friend base when I move. I'm going to connect with more people. I'm going to have a bigger sense of community, whatever that is. Unless you put yourself out there, none of that changes. So moving to Florida, Central Florida, we didn't know anyone. Not one person in this neighborhood. The only person we knew was our realtor who helped us find the house. So when you move and you think, okay, well, this is a whole new start. I'm going to have a whole new circle of friends. I'm going to just meet all of these people. It's going to be a great new community, and all of that can be true, but it can't be if you don't put yourself out there. It cannot be true unless you take that extra step to sort of move forward, to meet people, to make friends. All the construction on the new neighborhood here behind us. So knowing that you're moving and you want to create a bigger sense of community, maybe have a different circle of friends, which obviously you're going to have to because you can't commute back to New York to go hang out with your friends. You have to put yourself out there. Again, whether it is through some sort of sports organization or it is through meeting people through the HOA, taking walks with your dog and meeting friends who are also puppy lovers. That doesn't happen on its own. People aren't going to come banging on your door and saying, hey, let's be friends. Hey, would you like to join this organization? Hey, we have a community event coming up. Would you like to do it? Now, you get invites, obviously, as part of a neighborhood, but I'm talking about hand-holding. You have to put yourself out there. And this is your time. This is your chance to kind of open up, reinvent yourself, make new friends, create whoever you want to be. You moved from one place to another to have a fresh start, so make that fresh start. So that's not going to change. The way that you make friends, the way that you connect with people, that's who you are. So if you want to make more friends and you want a bigger social circle, when you move, you just have to kind of take the baby steps and put yourself out there, and know that in the Central Florida region, almost nobody's from here. They're all from somewhere else. So everybody wants to make connections. Everybody wants to make friends. They don't have those lifelong friends from elementary school up because they didn't go to elementary school here. So it's okay. Put yourself out there. Number 2, bills. The misnomer that I hear so many times, that I heard so many times in New York, and I still hear it sometimes now from people who are in New York, and certainly when I was leaving, oh, it's going to be so much cheaper there. Isn't it so much cheaper in Florida? You're going to have to pay so much less in bills and taxes and utilities and everything. It's so cheap to live down there. Well, guess what? It is booming here. So it's all relative. So I understand that. If you live in certain parts of California, you live in certain parts of New York City, it is prohibitively expensive, like really, really expensive. We lived on Long Island where the property taxes were some of the most expensive in the country. So again, it's all relative. Is it cheaper here? Yeah, in some ways, but in other ways it's not. You run the AC all the damn time. I'm not a big AC person. That's a bone of contention between me and my husband. But even me, who uses it very conservatively, you run the air conditioning so much more than we ever did in New York. And guess what that costs, right? That costs money because your electric bill is going to be higher because the AC is on all the time. Now, we had heat, we had oil in New York, which we don't have here. But my point is the bills, just because you're moving to Florida doesn't mean that you now have $50 electric bills. Come on. Windsor found something fun to go explore, but we're not allowed on the work site. We don't have our hard hats. So just knowing that you're still going to have certain bills, car insurance is more here. Health insurance is weird here. But either way, you're going to have those bills and you're just going to have to budget differently. So something that you're going to have to think about is what will cost more, maybe what will cost less, and how you're going to budget for that. Because just because here in the Central Florida area, and certainly around other parts of Florida for sure, it's quite expensive. But that doesn't mean that the income base here is a lot higher. That people for entry level jobs or any other jobs, that they're getting paid significantly more. So you do have to budget. Just because you move from one part of the country where it's expensive to another area where it's less expensive means it's going to cost you a lot less. No, not necessarily. So budget, plan out accordingly, and leave a little room for a buffer, because there's always those hidden surprises, like our HOA fees doubling. Anyway, you want to make sure that you're thinking about that from a very practical standpoint, as opposed to, oh wow, it's expensive where I live, I'm going to move somewhere where we can live at a lower cost of living. It doesn't always work that way, dollar for dollar. So definitely think about it, do your research, plan it out. And the third thing, lastly, is health and weight. And knowing that we were moving here, I really wanted to embrace the outdoor lifestyle and thought, well, I'm going to be outside all the time. So, of course, I'm going to get healthier. I'm going to lose weight because I'm going to be moving more. I'm going to be keeping my body active and moving forward. And while that is true, again, my body doesn't lose weight the way it used to. Menopause has absolutely put a stop to that and said, oh no, you're going to work 10 times harder to get half the results. So just know that when you live here, you're living just like anyone else. You go to work, you pay your bills, you have to commute, all of those things. So being able to prioritize our health, walking, making sure that we're taking care of our emotional health, our physical health, and all of that really has to become priority for you. So moving somewhere and thinking that you're going to start over, that's great, but that's not automatically going to mean that you're going to start dropping the pounds. You have to work for it. I have to work for it, like big time. I have to work for it. Windsor has to work for it, which is not true. He's always been a very slim puppy. He barely works for it. Even in his old age, just hanging out. But those are three of the things that, they're not necessarily going to change just because you move. Whether it's making new friends, whether it is paying your bills, or whether it's trying to get fit. So if you have any tips or pointers or any challenges that you've experienced when you moved or when you've tried to recreate yourself, drop a comment and let's all support each other. And just know that if you move, and if you don't move and you're in your 50s, you can reinvent yourself. You can recreate yourself. You can go out there and be whoever you want. And if you're not moving and you're in the same sort of social circle and you want to start doing something different or thinking differently, sticking a camera in front of your face and walking around to hold yourself accountable, and people don't like it, or people find it different and weird, that's them. That's on them. That's their problem. You can reinvent yourself. You can create yourself, live your best life in your 50s and beyond. Be fabulous, be happy, be healthy, and be wealthy. Thanks for joining me today on Fab 50s Florida, everyone. See you tomorrow.